So check it out. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about how not to lose five-figure clients in your service-based business. Now, typically I will be talking about things around the actual service I provide to my clients, right? To people who have premium service-based businesses. But I want to talk to my friends out there who actually have or are building a service-based business, and to any future clients so that they can understand how we manage these relationships so that you can be a good client and so that we can provide excellent service. So if you're wondering, I'm Quintel Harcum. I founded Good Part & Company, which was a plant-based health cafe and juice bar. It went on to become the first black-owned full service wellness partner at Johns Hopkins University. I was the owner operator of that cafe, partnered with Johns Hopkins. I helped them set up the template for their food service, their curriculum around health and wellness, some curriculum around health and wellness, courses, online content, all those good things to make their health and wellness situation and curriculum and cafe thrive at their university. They called on your boy to say, yo, look, we see you got this shop going on downtown a few blocks away from our university. The kids need to get healthy. The staff need to get healthy. The student athletes need to get healthy. And you look like you talking that talk. You know, you seem like you got a good product. Actually, they knew I did because some of the employees actually visited the shop. That's how I got on the radar. But anyway, I founded that cafe, ran it up 6 figures every year during our contract. I closed out that contract, and recently I started a new branding agency. Now it took me some time to figure out how to make my next pivot out of the business, but sometimes you're so close to things, it's just blurry and you can't see it. The whole time I was building my business and building the health cafe and building curriculum and doing content, everybody was asking me questions around how did I actually do it? How did I build a brand? Where else can I buy this brand? Is it in Walmart? Is it in Whole Food? That was the first one I got. Like, is it in Whole Food? I'm like, no, this is an independent black owned shop. And they like, is it in Whole Food? They thought it was like, that's the way it was branded. So we did a good job doing that. Myself, my friends, my interior design, all that type of stuff. So we built up the brand. So we understood design, packaging, branding, messaging, but also what were the actual tools we can use to make the business even better. And so it dawned on me that I need to use those tools to go help other businesses, specifically service-based businesses though, because a lot of times they get people just kind of, either the owner of a service-based business treats it as just a service for whoever can afford it, and therefore the market or the customers and the people that are looking on to the business just treat it like any old business. And some businesses do not deserve to be that way, especially service businesses with really skilled, proficient, excellent, high-level owners, technicians, service providers, right? So I'm here to help all of those people. So now let me tell you, I landed my first client after about a month in the game. I already had some contacts. Remember, your very first network is always your family, then your friends. But nowadays, everybody has a smartphone. So you should have some friends, some family, somebody that can point you towards some money in your phone. So I was fortunate enough to have that. I hit up some friends, set up some meetings, landed my first client. Boom. So I get my first client. We go through part of the brand strategy. I'm going to show you all that in the second part of this video. So we go through the original onboarding process, the brand strategy process, helping them extract great ideas, understanding where they want to go, why they want to get there, like what are the V5, right? What's the main things in their business? I call it the V5, like the V5 engine. This is what makes the business go. What's the values? What's the vision? What's the voice? What's the visuals for the brand? And then how do we validate it, right? So we going through all of those things. First of all, the values and the vision. So that's what we're really uncovering in that first session. So boom, we get to the first session. Between that time and the time that I'm reporting back on my deliverables, we have a big meeting. A big event within the company, and we need to get some stuff done. So I'm asked to do some things that are like kind of outside of my job description, but I'm a team player and I want them to win. It's not something I felt like I should have did, or it's not even something that I had in my scope of work. So that's a part of providing excellent service, is to give a clear pathway of how you're going to help your clients achieve success, and how and what are the things you're going to do within that so that they can have the proper expectations and so that you can meet the standards of what your business is, right? So I understood that when it went down, it made me feel uncomfortable, and the point of me having my own business is so that I can control my own time. Let me say that again. The point of me having my own business is so that I can have freedom of time. It's not just about me making money. Once that started to infringe upon my time, I got real uncomfortable, And I was like, I don't like how this is feeling, so I need to go have a meeting with my client. And I did that. So we had a meeting. They helped me gain clarity. I didn't go to them all angry and irate or upset and bothered and this and that. I'm a professional. It took some time to think about it. That's one thing that you always got to do when you providing premium service to premium clients. You want to be professional, understand what you really want to get done. Sometimes you can't help get the thing done, and you might have to let that client go. And that's when it comes down to losing the 5-figure client. So we had the meeting. I asked them to help me get clear on what my role is. Not only did they ask me to do something that was outside of what my scope of work was, but there was also some major overlap with another employee who I have yet to meet at the time. And that's because that person was supposed to be on their way out. That employee, I don't know, that employee doesn't work well for that company, and for the same reasons that they were overlapping into my job is part of the reason why I believe they have to move on. And so I needed to get clear because that person was kind of like just running interference and really would drag out my process of executing. And so I'm like, man, listen, what we doing here? What are we doing? What is that? This is what I would like to be doing. This is how I anticipated helping you achieve your goals. Tell me if this is how you understood it, and if not, tell me where you want me to go from here. And that's exactly how I delivered it to them. And they gave me that feedback, and I was like, okay, cool. So if you didn't want that, what do you want? And they was like, this is what we actually want. And then I said, okay, cool. It sounds like you need this type of person. You need to implement this type of person. You have to know what your role is in your business. You have to know the service you provide and what you can do. Unless you're doing straight up all a la carte, done for you type of services, or just trying to do anything to get paid, you will do anything to get paid. I'm not trying to just do any old thing to get paid. So I volunteered the information like, hey, you may need this kind of person to get that part of the job done, because that's not something that I do. I don't do that well. It's going to stop me from doing what I want to do. And I had to reiterate while we were talking about this, I recently did this because I understood the goals, the urgency, and the goals of things that needed to get done, and how if I didn't help, it would impede on me doing what I needed to do. But going forward, I will not be doing any tasks similar to that or tasks like that again, because that's not what I do. So they gave examples of closely related tasks and asked would I do them, and I was clear. This is exactly what I'm not doing, and that's not to be like. Sometimes you gotta make things uncomfortable. It's not even that you have to deal with being uncomfortable. You gotta make things uncomfortable for yourself and for other people, so that you can get the best results. The best results come on the other side of difficult things, challenging things. And so I had to challenge them, and then they challenged me to let me know this is what we're looking for. So after a couple of days, I took my time. I thought about some things. I had the meeting with the client. We had our talk. I asked for clarity. It's always about clarity. This is a part of the V5 framework, like having the right voice and the right vision. The clearer your vision is, the clearer the voice is, the clearer the messaging, the better you are at communicating with whoever you're serving. And then the more money you can make, right? The better you can serve the clients, and the more they're going to go tell other people, and you can get more clients. And in my case, I get to retain a relationship with a 5-figure client because I wasn't on no BS. I was just clear. Hey, help me get clear so I can help you do your thing. You know what I'm saying? So you can achieve your goals. I want to see you win. I let them know I want to see you win. I can't do these things so that to help you win, but I can do these things, and I can do these things well. And in all honesty, I know that they need assistance with some other things that are outside of my control, and I could probably help them get those things done, but that's not what my brand is about. That's not what my business is about. And that's not the services that I'm offering. So I just cannot step up to meet those tasks, not even for extra money, because it's going to take me out of my craft, out of my zone to serve other clients. And this is to let my other fellow service providers out there know, just because you see an opportunity where you can make some extra money, it don't mean you need to be pursuing that opportunity. And for all entrepreneurs, you always see the shiny object, the newer opportunity, the easier opportunity and stuff like that. But you can't go after those types of things. You got to be able to kind of focus on fewer things, preferably one thing. Like there's the book, The One Thing. Some of the greatest entrepreneurs from the past up until now, they focus on one thing. You obsess over one thing. You get it done. You can work on it at a high level, and it'll open up a lane for you to do a bunch of things. But in the meantime, in between time, especially when you just starting out and you kind of scrambling around trying to get some dollars and stuff like that. Like, I'm not an inexperienced entrepreneur. I may have a new branding agency, but I'm not an inexperienced entrepreneur. So I know not to go chasing any and every opportunity. And so that's another part of like building trust with your client. You can't just be taking any opportunities or presenting them with opportunities that, yeah, it may be a good opportunity for you and them to have a good working relationship. But until you execute on what you showed up to do, you probably shouldn't be trying to pursue that opportunity just to extract more money out of them. Some people are going to be smart enough to see that happening. And some people are just going to be like, yeah, good, take it off my plate. And then when you're not doing it well, you look bad, or they blaming you because they just thought you was going to handle it and then they weren't because they not able to take care of it. So that is going to cause you to actually lose the client because you overextending yourself, or you offering to do some things that you may not be good at, or you know enough about to get it done, and it's coming off whack, and it's kind of diluting what your service is about. But the number one lesson before I go into showing like what I actually did and how I got some things rolling, because I think some people might be interested in that. And also, I just want to talk myself through it, and I'm going to do it right here in this video, and then sharing with you, it may help you organize your thoughts, or organize your understanding. And hopefully, if you got a service-based business, you get to understand and see how some of the people who are working for you, like what they do behind the scenes to like make their business work well so that your business can work well. So the main thing to retain and not lose five-figure clients is to always have maximum clarity at every moment, at every level, anytime. And then you have to close the gap, shorten the distance between uncertainty and certainty. You can't let things linger. From the time that I started doing that task that I did not want to do, I was totally uncomfortable and I felt the way. And I knew that if I did not talk about this before a certain amount of time, I was no longer going to be a good service provider to the client. So like, yo, let's go talk about it. And I got respect for them. And it just builds respect. They respect you. They know that you're not playing. I know that like if I want to have a good branding agency that was as good as my juice bar, or if not better, like my first major client was Johns Hopkins. So I'm like, it wasn't really dawning on me like what my level was. Like that's where I'm at, and that's the space I need to be moving in. I don't know that this client sees me in that space because I knew this client. Like I said, I got him up my Rolodex, so they know me before my deal with Johns Hopkins. But I'm not that same person. They know what I can do, but they don't know who I am. And so I gotta let them know who I am, and this is what I'm here to do for you. But I can't allow them to knock me down a rung or two or three or anything. I got to stay at the level so that I can keep getting better. And that's how you got to approach your business. You can't play down to the level of your competition in business, right? Business is the greatest competition, okay? And so I play high school basketball, and I'm a big basketball fan, and just like sports and competition and like just competing. Like you got to compete to get better sometimes. And in knowing that, I'm trying to really, I see what I didn't do so well in my previous business. I see the steps I got to take here. I got to stay sharp. I got to stay fast. I got to stay on it. I got to stay an A player. And that means even if I have to let the client go, because having your own business means you get to pick who you work with. If that meeting wasn't going well and I had to let the client go, I would, because I'm not compromising myself being an A player. And that's how you retain and not lose five-figure clients, because you bring your standards into the game. Now, if they can't meet those standards, you let them go. You can help with your service. Hopefully you can help raise them up and raise their standards. And now all ships are rising with the tide because everybody's been excellent across the board. So what really, really made me want to do this is I was intentional about trying to be the A player that I know I am, and seeing where anybody else, even the person that's cutting me a check, if they getting in the way of me being great, because if I can't be great, then I can't be great for them, right? Same thing for you. If you can't be great, if you can't be great for yourself, you can't be great for anyone else. And we had that meeting, maximum clarity. That's what you need, maximum clarity. And it's not default for me, but I'll say that because I actually practice these things and talk about it. Like I talk about the values, I talk about my vision, I talk about my voice, and I have to do that for other clients. I'm looking right at the answer. How do I figure out this relationship? How do I figure out to get past this uncomfortable point? Well, I need to go practice. What's my vision? What's my value? Why am I actually trying to help here? What can I help them do? I need to be clear with it. I need to exercise my throat chakra and speak up. Hey, I don't care how much you pay me or how much you make. This is what I do. This is what you want me to do. I ain't doing that. Because it's not going, and it's not because it's not some ego thing. It's just not going to allow me to be my best in the thing that I do. Because that's the space you always want to move in, the space where you have your circle of competency, right? So that's the number one thing that I think will prevent you from losing 5-figure clients. Maximum clarity on what you do and what it is that they want you to do. Now, let's talk about what I actually did to help me realize, like, yo, you are not on track right now, right? So let's check it out. All right, so we in my Notion for Green Book Digital, and where I do all of my services and stuff. So I got all these different little windows set up, and we need to go check out my clients. So this is where all my customers are. This long list is like different prospects, and if I close any of these prospects, they get moved up into the customer tab. So we're gonna just go ahead over here. I had my first before I took my first meeting, I did early research for the client. In this tab, I got a lot of different notes that I took on the client, and a lot of different things I noticed and things I felt I could help with. So that's what we have here. And then once they wanted to bring me on board, I put together my scope of work and let them know how I can actually help them. So here we have all of the things that are included in my scope of work. And I should always be referring back to this. This is where you're going to have, this is what's going to give you your actual maximum clarity, right? So you have a scope of work. You know what you should be doing. And it's my bad for just, I actually apologized on that meeting and said, hey, I apologize if I wasn't clear in what my process and order operations were, but this is what I would have liked to be getting done, but I don't know that this is what you need, so you tell me, right? So you start by checking yourself, right? You just don't start yelling and going at anybody because you think that you always know. No, I actually created this scope of work here. I printed it out. We got a document that I have and that they have, and so I have it also here in my Notion database. So boom, scope of work. Then I went into our first branding session, brand strategy session. Here are my brand strategy questions and setup. So brand strategy, boom. So these are this is the template, right? This is what I follow. I actually have a document of this. So if you want to see what all of these brand strategies is and how to walk through it, in a link in the description, you can find my brand strategy blueprint, the playbook that I actually use. So it's the premium brand strategy playbook. You can find that in the link in the description. It's a no cost tool that you can use for your business, or like if you have a service-based business, or if you actually just have a branding agency, right? You can check that out. Boom. So now that I know what all the strategy questions are. These are all of my questions, all the responses I got back from the client. We went through everything. I crossed some things out, got all of their feedback, all of the light bullets or the hollow circle bullets. It was just the outlines. It's like me organizing all of their ideas and all of their feedback. So that was a really great session. That was actually really fun. So I took in what they said and started building some brand expression for them, because they were expressing that they wanted things to be refreshed. And so I took it as we got to refresh like the look of a lot of different things. And that was to my era, right? I was kind of assuming or just like anxious to get in and start working and doing my thing. So putting together some typeface, some color palettes, all that good stuff. But that was my vision for them. But I took what they actually told me here in the strategy responses and built it out, took down some notes, and then I'm going to show you guys the visuals behind that too. And then this was one of their other looks. So basically what I asked them was, and this is part of my game. This is the part of my process. I asked them, if your business was a character from a movie, I'm not saying your favorite character from a movie, but just a character, how do you see it? What would that character be, or who would that character be? This lets you know how your client thinks of themselves and their business. And it may be different from how you see their business. It may be different from how their employees see the business. It may be different from how the customers perceive their business. But it's important to know what your clients think about themselves and their business, or how their business is representing or being showcased to the actual people they serve. So boom. So that's that part there. So here is, I put together my templates. I put together my mood boards and visuals for them based on the feedback they gave me. This was one look or one representation of a mood that they expressed. Color palette based on intense character from one of their favorite favorite movies, but also some things that the script that describe that person and how they feel about their business. Cool. Does this character work in terms of that actual business? I'm not 100% sure, but I'm here to just help the client express themselves fully and then incorporate that into their brand strategy. Here is the second option that they gave me. Now, these options come directly from the actual client. So This is what they say about their business. They were thinking Wolf of Wall Street vibes. This client doesn't work in finance, but if that's the vision they have for themselves, I said, let me help you express that vision. How does it look? I put together a mood board based on some of the things around imagery from Wolf of Wall Street, Jordan Belfort, getting money, the golds, the blacks, the dark grays, the whites. Like these things kind of symbolize boldness, confidence, ambition, kind of in your face. That company isn't totally in your face with it, especially not as in your face as Wolf of Wall Street or any stock trader from back in the day. But this is what they thought of. So I was like, okay, this is what I got. And then the last one, this is revitalize or like a re-energized interpretation of color palettes they've used before. I just use more bold, intense colors to still communicate some of the same values that they have for the business. So these might be traits and things that they want to exhibit within, say, their employee base or their staffing and stuff like that, right? They want to be professional. The leadership dresses chic. Those things may not need to be expressed in the business for what they serve, but it can still be a part of the business and how they operate. And you have to understand the difference in between internal strategy, building internal culture, and then also the outward expression of the branding. So that's just a quick look. They picked option C, all good. I decided to go ahead and develop some logos around that. And I'm not going to get into the logos because this video is getting long enough, but I just wanted to show how I just started diving in to do my thing to start refreshing the brand visuals. And they went along and they picked the palette. And then once I actually sent logos, I never got a response. And it wasn't timely. And it started to like get close to what my timeline was to really produce deliverables and do some good stuff. And I was like, oh, maybe I don't know what's going on. Let's get clear. So they don't really want new logos. And they never said that. I never explicitly asked that, but a lot of what they talked about was refreshing the look of everything. And so my take on it was that they needed new visuals. They asked for a different color palette for a lot of different things, but I guess they didn't want to use that they didn't want to use it. They ended up going back on that, and that's okay because I asked what they want. We got clear on it. But that's a part of retaining good customer client relationship, right? Client provider relationship. And so I asked, and we figured that out. And so now I'm taking what I do have from the brand strategy session back. Let's go back to Notion. So now I'm taking what I do have from the brand strategy session and I'm building out the client portal. So here's the client portal, and this is kind of like how I built out my client portal. So these icons that you see here, like these change, the graphics may change based on, let's say, the typography that we use for the brand. If they already have a typography or if I come in and help install one that kind of fits better with their branding. So I build out the portal. So here we put in all of the assets because what I found is like when I'm doing brand strategy, some people have brands, like in this case, the brand already has digital assets. They may not be organized well. That's a part of brand strategy. You can't execute to the optimally when things are out of place. So I come in, organize, and put them in place. So we organize the digital assets, the color palettes, the typography. Now everybody who needs to use this can access it from me to whoever I'm working with on their marketing team, to whoever I'm working with on the strategy side, for internal things like that, surveys, the vision, mission, values, all of those things get put in here. And so now I know when it comes to this logo part here, when it comes to, let's say, all right, specifically this logo part, I don't have to add anything new to this. I just use the assets they have and organize it because they don't want me to design a logo. The typography, I don't know that they need updated typography, so whatever we have, I'll just put it here so they'll know how to use it across Canva and all those good things. Color palette, I'll just, break all those things down, use the hex codes. That way they can take it and use it however they need to see fit because it's not part of my... In building higher level strategy, I won't be executing too much stuff like on the ground, like actually inputting and building and designing like graphics and stuff. But now these are the things that I'm going to focus on for this company. These last 6 here, interviews, customer persona, because we have some strategy that we have to execute on towards bringing in new types of customers. The mission, the vision, the values. This is something that really they want to work on to improve the internal culture and environment. Surveys. I'll be building out surveys, which is, a part of a 5-figure contract. Like, that's something that you really got to put some thought into what are the proper questions to get the right answer that you need to help build a better business. So surveys, the brand guidelines, how they actually use these things, they did a pretty good job before, I will say. So the guidelines, I don't have to refine them, I just need to organize them. And social media strategy, I'll definitely have to be inputting on that. And then a web mock-up, Instagram grid mock-up, that is something that I will be working on with my marketing associate within that company for that client. The web mock-up, though, they're still trying to decide if they want to revamp and things like that. So if they decide to make those changes, we'll put it all in here, and they'll have all the things they need for their new brand strategy with Green Book Digital. So I'm really proud of myself because this is my first client. And in order for you to really have like a good productized service where you can go in, deliver, execute, and help take companies to the next level, you really gonna have to be clear about some things. So I caught myself early on in bringing about maximum clarity for myself and for my business and for my client. So in order for you to not lose your 5-figure clients, you have to maintain maximum clarity at all times, at all steps, at all phases within your business. And businesses they typically, especially if you're dealing directly with like executives and you got a bigger business like me working at Hopkins University is huge, it's all types of people. They want to be as hands-off as possible. They want to work with high-level professionals who can get the stuff done. But you got to tap in and see what they want, because they will just show up and say you're not doing this right when they never told you what right is. Don't let that happen in your business. And clients, you look forward to the times that you have your check-ins, even if it's just a quick 5-10 minute meeting. The really great entrepreneurs that I've been around, they are super fast. They don't need to have a whole lot of time in the meeting. And I aim to be that way. Like, I don't like wasting time in meetings. I like agendas for meetings. I like getting things done as clear as possible. People waste too much time talking. I ain't with no complaints, none of that type of stuff. So anyway, maximum clarity. This is what a dashboard looks like with Green Book Digital. You see some of the brand strategy. If you need to figure out how you can develop your own brand strategy, you can get my premium brand strategy playbook. The link is in the description. And I appreciate you guys. If you like this video, if you found it valuable, like, share, and subscribe. I'll check you out in the next one.